Take me back to your decision to go across Canada on horse.
Yeah. I was about 23 years old when I met my present wife. She was 9. We started dating when I was in my 30s. She just turned 18. Anyway, she was kind of an adventurous person, and I was still working at Eaton's. I was getting discouraged with Montreal. My adventurous wife got a map of Montreal. She looked, she says, if we do 40 miles a day by horseback, we can go to BC from Montreal in one summer. And I'm looking at her. I'd never been on a horse before, didn't know what that was all about, but I was willing to try anything. And we did end up getting a couple of horses. We trained ourselves for about 4 months, and then we finally hit the road, not realizing the hardships you have to go through. We got to Ottawa. It was pretty horrendous, but anyway, we made it there, and we didn't know where we were, so we set up our tent near the apartment buildings, and we didn't know. It was just nice grass and everything there for the horses. And in those days, I had a 30-30 rifle and a Bowie knife. In those days, you could do that. So we all of a sudden, all these guards are running in the morning or kicking us off the property because we weren't really supposed to be there. Anyway, we moved on from there, and then our horse came up lame, and this person said, we'll trade you your 2 Pintos and your pack horse for one big horse and a wagon. And that's what we did. And we noticed behind the wagon there was a school bus. 40 years, some later, I am driving school bus. So my life is standing in front of me right here 40 years before I really knew what I was going to end up doing. So like we were kind of like hippies, maybe, sort of. We became groomers. We worked at the racetrack, the Sudbury Downs. We worked there for a couple of months, and we learned really quick about horses, really quick. It was pretty hard, but we learned the hard way. And Port Arthur, my girlfriend at the time, we got married there. People on the road would stop us, and they'd give us information, and the OPP would stop us, and I would always say to them, are we going too fast, or what's the problem? And the truckers were great. They would pull us over, and they'd buy us stuff, and it was just great, good experience. Anyway, we ended up in Thunder Bay. My wife, Donna, got a brainwave, and she phoned her brother, Bob. She says, why don't you come with us? Get on, we'll get you a horse. Anyway, Bob got on a plane, met us in Thunder Bay, and we got him a horse. Finally, we ended up in Manitoba here. And Bob says, never again. He learned his lesson. Coming into Manitoba, it was starting to rain, so my wife got up on top, and she was pulling the tarp down to cover so the rain wouldn't go inside. I was holding all 3 horses, and that was a rule we had. Nobody holds all 3 horses, and we made a mistake. So once the tarp came down and the wind caught it, well, that spooked the horses I was holding, and the horse ran over me and my back with the wagon, and they took off into the bush. So we had a pretty serious accident at that time. That was in 1976. As we were going by East Braintree off of number 1 highway, there was a Whiteshell Esso station back in the day there. And that person that ran the station, they liked what we were doing. And he said, if you guys have any trouble, you can come back and work at my station. Donna could waitress and I could pump gas. So we got to Portage. My wife's horse came up lame. She really liked the horse, so I said, listen, we got a lifetime to do this. That guy that offers us a job back in Braintree, maybe we'll phone him and we'll say we'll come back and do, and then we'll leave the next year. Anyway, we did phone him, and he sent the truck, and he hauled us horses and everything back to East Braintree. He got us a house. We worked for them for a while, and then we started to think about hitting the road again. All of a sudden, my wife's pregnant, and we couldn't leave then, obviously, because, we had the baby and stuff. We were always planning to leave, but we never really did, But a very important thing happened in 1977. I ended up working construction for K.K. Penner. They were building a school in Prouda. There was a guy, his name was Henry Platt, was our superintendent. And I kind of looked up to Henry. He was going to a Ridgewood church, and he lived in Blumenort, and he invited us to his church. But this man really affected my life, and so my wife, myself, we became Christians, and my whole life changed since I'm here, so to the better. So so it's a good thing. I'm really happy.
Any plans on ever continuing that journey and making it all the way to BC on horse?
Not in real life. I think that's a wrap now. And we're seriously thinking of writing a book. I got too many great memories if Alzheimer's sets in or whatever. so I better do it right away and stop procrastinating because life is good.